Hi, this is Jeff Kramer from DevX. I'm talking about some of the HP Cloud agents we've built, specifically the category that falls under service enhancement. So these are agents which apply to a specific service and they enhance that service's functionality by adding a feature that we may not add to core or we may not add to core yet. So some examples of a really simple feature, which we don't have, and probably would never build, is a file existence checker. So this is our temporary web UI that we've built to prove out that our API works well with web-based services. Eventually all of this would be living inside of the management console. So for this agent, we'll call this check for backup. Agents have an interval, so they run every however often. So let's say we'll run this every 24 hours. Need an email address. You can schedule agents to start in the future. For this agent, we'll start it immediately. You select a Swift storage region and then a Swift container. So let's go for a test container. One thing that makes this script interesting, because we have a full programming environment available to us, we can do things like date adjustment. So we can say yesterday here, and now in our name, where usually this would be like a path, like does backup / mybackup.tar exist. If that doesn't exist, send me an email. We can now do if backups year month day .zip doesn't exist, send us an email, which could be useful if we have a server that makes snapshot backups to Swift. We want to make sure those snapshot backups are happening. So now the agent has run. We've added the task. When we hit the submit button, the dispatcher picked it up and executed it, and it went out and searched our Swift container, and we are missing this file. So it sends us an email. And the email, in this case, looks something like this. Test container appears to be missing the file. So some other agents that we have that fall into the same category. We have rolling server backups. So for this agent, you select a server that you want to back up. So for instance, I could select Drupal 3. So let's call this Drupal 3 backup. We're going to run this every 24 hours. hp.com, start immediately. That server lives in AZ2. We're going to keep 2 daily backups and 1 weekly backup. And we're going to back up our weekly backup on Sunday. We'll go ahead and create this task. It found our server, so it's going out and talking to Nova, and it's saying, hey Nova, does this server exist? And Nova says, yes, that server exists. And then it's requesting a snapshot. So it's snapshotting the OS boot volume for this server into Swift, or into Glance. And then once it's done, if the week is the day of the week that we requested, it'll do a weekly backup, and then it'll check and see how many backups there are, and if there are more than we requested, it'll delete the oldest ones. So this, takes a little while. S3 to Swift sync works generally how you would expect. You put in an S3 bucket name, an S3 access key, an S3 secret key, and then you select a target for it. So, for instance, S3 target. You can email a report. Won't run it right now because it takes a little while to track down the credentials, but eventually it copies 5 files at a time from S3 over to your Swift container. If you add new files to your S3 bucket, it will only copy those new files. It will only copy files which don't exist in your container. So if you add new files to your S3 bucket, it'll only copy those files and it'll skip the other ones. We have also a tar to Swift extract. This was one that was requested a demo by the sales engineer team. So this is, for instance, WordPress extract. Run this once. So our file, we're going to decompress WordPress. So wordpress.org, latest targz. And we're going to put this into a container called WordPress. And we're going to email a report. We'll create this task. It's going to go out and grab WordPress targz and decompress it into our Swift container. So if we go log into the management console, browse containers, go into our WordPress container, we see that we now have a WordPress directory and the files that we extracted are